Alright, now we are audible and live and all that stuff.
So kind of fast.
Alright, cool. We are here. I need to find the video and share it now that we're all live and stuff. Alright, cool. So let's share it to the groups. I don't need it on my page. Post. Bam. Alright, cool. Now that that's done, we can share it to the other thing. This is the tedious part, guys. Sorry. I bet it's the internet here. We're all like choppy and stuff. And I'll share it one more place and then we can get rolling.
Cool.
Roll on out. And if it's going to be the internet here, we may choose a different locale for future things. But the good thing is I am recording, so with the recording, guys, it will be something that I can post later as a video, and you can just watch the video if the stream is all weird and choppy and all that stuff. Alright, cool. So here is that one. Let's click there so we can see the comments and all that jazz. Alright, let's get a roll on here. Alright, nobody's here yet. That's fine. We'll let people sneak on in. Otherwise, we can set some stuff up in the background. Alright, cool. This is the Ogam Journey Part 2. Melissa is here. She's awesome. And we're just going to talk about the Ogam Journey. We're still using this book. The book that we've been reading. So we just got through the section on the individual Ogam fuse.
Yeah, the big one.
And it's the biggest part of it is the biggest part of the whole book. So the biggest part of the book is just going to be, if you choose to read it, it's just going to be lengthy, but at the same time, like reading the individual fuse makes it very easy, breakdown, all that sort of stuff. So that when you do read it, it's not totally overwhelming. Loretta is here. Hello, Loretta. Welcome.
Hello, Loretta.
If the video is choppy, we apologize for that. Again, I will be sharing the recorded video later so that will be easier to view maybe at a later time. It just looks choppy on our end. Nobody calls me Jim, by the way. Nobody does that. So please call me James. That's going to be number one. It's always James. Always. Nobody does Jim. No, thank you. Melissa's laughing at me because
I love
I'm
it.
very particular about my name.
I also really just cannot see you as a Jim. I'm going to have nightmares about Jim.
Let's talk about this for a brief second. Like, it always baffles me that people want to shorten my name. It's already short enough. Like, I don't, and there's no I in my name. Like, if I was Jimmy, I would get it and I would be on board, but I'm not Jimmy. So it's just a weird preference. It really is.
I love it.
So, welcome to the Ogam Journey Part 2. Alright, I'm going to do a thing, and we're going to flip. Alright, awesome. So, here is our, once it pulls up, there's a little bit of delay, so I'm going to talk a little bit. But this section of the book is broken down into 6 parts. So 6 parts. Each part is covered per view. Yeah, it's covered per view, so that we can just read over each section and just get a preliminary glance of what it is that we're talking about here. That didn't make that better.
Ooh, that's a big delay.
It is a big delay.
That's when we're talking about your name.
Yeah, I know. It's a
weird.
very big delay. Sorry. So we may choose to do this either at Melissa's house or my house in the future.
Yeah.
I think this internet cafe business is no bueno. Alright,
Yep.
so yeah, we're still seeing our discussion on the name
How I'm
part.
going to have nightmares about
Yeah, we're seeing
him
that
being
part,
called Jim.
and
That's what's
right now
happening.
we're looking at something completely different on our end. So we're just going to keep going, and hopefully it catches up. There it goes. So each few is talked about in this order. They start with the word Ogam, which is the same as the few, which is represented by each tree. Each tree is represented by the symbol. So, for example, like birch. Let me find it somewhere in here. So birch is like this. So I made some flashcards because I'm a weirdo. And yeah, I see that. So there we go. So here's birch. It generally looks like this. You can draw it this way. Like you could draw it this way.
That's the way I drew it.
It's totally fine. It doesn't matter which way you draw it. It does not matter at all. And birch would be broken down into like the word Ogam is birch. Yeah, modern technology. You're right, Loretta. It is very choppy, and I apologize for that. But we're just gonna keep going and hope for the best. All right, cool. So birch would be considered the word Ogam, and then there's a visualization they talk about, which is like the goddess putting her hands out like this,
Arms wide.
like arms wide, and all this and that.
Embracing the world,
Embracing the world,
universe.
all this stuff. So, yeah, it's so interesting that they have that set up for each one, and they do mention that the visualization can be anything that you make sense to that particular few. You don't have to use the one that he gives you.
No, you can personalize.
You can personalize it for yourself. So after the visualization, they talk about the meaning. We'll talk about birch specifically a little bit. So birch is like the birth or the beginning, and it's represented by what they call the first month of November. Their month numbers are a little different than ours because for the Celts, the year started in November, not January. And that's because of the pagan aspect, not because
Interestingly,
not
coincides very
because
beautifully with the
of anything
pagan
else.
year.
Well, that's because of this was used by the Druids, and the Druids are very pagan in origin. So it's not surprising to us that practice paganism that this follows that yearly cycle by any means, because the Druids were pagan and they followed the yearly cycle just like all of us. Alright, so they talk about the meanings, which is very birth, beginnings, transitioning into something new. And then it talks about the natural characteristics of the birch, which I don't remember any of those, and we won't go into any of that. And then it talks about the storyline of like the poems and stuff that were used to help people understand the birch as an Ogam view. Then it goes into like the magic and the folklore that go along with that particular few, in the sense of what is it that this few represents in the folklore, and what it would be used for in magic, right? Yeah, look at that. The delayness is terrible.
Yeah.
All right, we're just gonna live with it for today and just do this live another day, or another place next time. So for you viewing, yeah, I'm gonna post the video on YouTube and then share that link later, and the recording will be very streamlined and very clear, so that will take care of that. Alright, cool. Melissa, were there particular views you wanted to talk about?
So while I'm doing this, obviously there were particular views that stood out, but I think that happened just because of, as when you do a reading, I'm assuming because I haven't skipped ahead to that part of the book either, but obviously just relate to whatever is currently happening for me in life.
Yeah.
And because again, and this is part of the discussion we were just having before we started this recording, is that it might be called the art of divination, but it's not the same as telling the future. Divination is for divining yourself.
Right.
This is what I believe, and I think you have similar beliefs.
Absolutely.
So as I'm reading and studying and writing and making notes, there were a few particular runes that were like, oh, Melissa, pay attention to me, do it now, listen to me. And I think the Louis, which is the next few, actually, it follows Birch, or Beth, sorry. And it is the representative of the sound or the letter L, and the rowan tree, which is incidentally why I'm not going to be making these out of wood, because you try to find some rowan wood somewhere for sale. Good Lord. And the keywords that go along with it are protection, defense, sanctuary, protecting oneself against danger, shielding oneself, wards of protection, and that's the visualization is that of a protective symbol above a person in a doorway.
Right.
And this is one of those things that I often forget to do for myself, is I don't set, I'm really bad at setting boundaries for myself, and protecting my personal space and needs. And so as I was going through the Rowan, the Louis few was just going,
that's funny.
We need to do this.
So let's talk about this for a brief second. Like, Melissa's talking about the Celtic name for the tree and then the English name of the tree. So the Celtic name is Louise or Lewis, and the English name would be the Rowan. So they're very interchangeable, guys. They're the same thing. They're the same tree. It's just what name are you drawn to use, and that's all that matters. Like, I'm gonna use the English names when I do readings. I'm not gonna remember these Celtic names, nor are they gonna like stick out in my head in a significant way. But for Melissa, they are. Like, she's very in tune to that part of it.
It holds a little more personal power.
Yeah,
for me.
Absolutely. So we'll welcome Melissa Rippey for joining us. We've already kind of been known that it's been brought to our attention that the stream is a little choppy, so we're going to just keep going, but just go back and watch the replay, and I'm going to post a video later, and hopefully that fixes the viewing pleasure of everybody, but we're just going to keep going along. So, like, this is a cool thing. Like, each section of this book goes into like five views for each section. So they break it down into
like a group.
Like groups. Like, they're in groups, and each group has like the very first one in the group is always like symbolized by this similar like one branch kind of thing. Like the next grouping would be this one, which is the hawthorn. Hawthorn would be the opposite direction, but it's very much grouped in that way. And only specific ones are associated to specific months. Not all of them are. And the point of that is to use that in a reading in some way. Like, if you pull the hawthorn, for example, then it would represent the month of April, which is the 6th month for them. Whatever. I mean, that's up to the reader. I'll probably use it for that purpose of time, like to use the time part, but you don't have to by any means. Either way, each one just has that very, very specific, very, very specific thing. So, yeah, we're not going to go through each one. We just wanted to talk about like a few of them. Joke intended. But I mean, this is such an extensive section of the book that there's no way we
would be talking for hours and hours.
Yeah, we would be talking forever and ever and ever. But let's give you a point of reference here. Bam. Let's do this. So now you can see all of them. You can see all of them as they are grouped together, actually. So
there's the one I was just talking about.
Not only is it going to show you the groupings, but it's also going to show you right under the names. Like, this is an image I pulled off of the internet. I didn't make this, so It shows you like the English name. It shows you the Celtic thing. Always on alive does my nose itch every time. And it gives you the corresponding letter because this was used for writing by the Druids. So it gives you the corresponding letter for all that stuff. So handy dandy sort of little thing here. Anyway, so we thought it would be great for you guys to see the corresponding fuse and lettering and all that jazz right here.
Yeah, especially as we're talking about certain ones.
Yeah, not only talking about certain ones, but it's helpful to see like what it looks like in writing, what it looks like when you use it to write sentences. Either way, that's probably it, I think. I don't really know what else to talk about with this section of the book. It's
because again, it's a lot of individualized study about each specific few.
Very much so. So tomorrow I will be on without Melissa, and we're going to talk about what is a way that you could set yourself up to be successful at self-study. That's going to be tomorrow at 4 live, and yeah, it's pausing and come back.
Oh, good. Well,
they're not missing anything. That's good. On our end, it just looks very choppy and very slow, so maybe it's just on our end that it looks weird.
Yeah, because everyone's recording.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But either way, it's good to know that people aren't missing anything. But I'm still going to post the video later that's going to be just the recorded part on the back end of this. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to talk about how you can set yourself up to be successful at self-studying, because this is a great tie-in to this topic here that we're talking about today. Is like Melissa and I set up a whole study plan for our own journey together.
Yep.
And we have very set dates and time, things that we want to accomplish before a certain date, and then come back for a live, and then go do more study. So let's talk about that. The next part of the book is where it's going to get more exciting, guys. More exciting, because we're going to start reading about own casting.
Yay!
Like seriously,
actually doing the readings.
Yeah, actually doing the readings, and they have some suggested reading styles in here that you can use for layouts and all that stuff. And yours truly is going to take the time to actually do some visuals for these, so you guys can follow along and see what we're talking about. And it will be helpful for you to see like the different options. I might just pick a couple, like maybe 5 or 6 to show you, because it does have quite a few in here. Another joke. Quite a few examples of how you could do readings. So I'm just gonna put together some visuals, and you can follow along in that way on the next one. And maybe, just maybe, yeah, neat stuff, right? Maybe next time, if we're feeling inclined, we might do some card pulling out of a deck, and I will do some live readings on the next one after we talk about it, and then you guys can see what it's all about, because I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't do any readings with this until I finish the book.
Yep.
So that's the promise. But since the book will be finished next time, I can then play. I wouldn't play so bad, but I've held up to my promise up to this point. I've really restrained myself so bad because I'm so tempted to just dig in, because that's how I roll. But I promised myself that I would just not do that part and just let it be. Just let it be a thing that I study and then do. So I'm going to do the studying first and then do. Cool. So, alright. Neat stuff, guys, and I'm so excited to see you all. Actually, let's look at our calendar so you guys know when the next...
I think it's the 11th. I think August 11th.
I think so.
Is correct? That's what I have down.
I think so.
Yep.
August 11th.
August 11th.
Okay. August 11th, guys, is going to be the last video of us talking about the study part, and then there's going to be at least 1 video or 2 videos after that of us creating our fuse so that you can watch that process. And that's going to happen in my backyard or in my garage or somewhere where it's going to be more enclosed, and I'll probably use my phone to do the live so that one of us can hold it, the phone, and then
while the other
is working. You can watch us create our fuse. That's going to be so exciting, and
ridiculously excited.
You're going to see how different Melissa and I are going to approach that part of it. We're going to approach that in such a different way that it's just going to be so different. I mean, it's just going to be so different.
I think that'll help people understand that none of this has to be a certain way.
Yeah, exactly.
All of it is dependent on what works for you.
Or what calls to you, right?
What calls to you.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
Immediately what called to me was to make 3 different sets and then use them together for the layout that I want to use. That's what immediately called to me. Immediately. Melissa took some time to process what's going to be her method, and she's going to make 1 set, which is probably smarter, honestly.
And it'll be less time consuming.
Less time consuming. I won't make you watch me create all 3 sets. I'm going to just start with 1 set. And you could just watch me create like part of that one, and we'll just maybe do 1 or 2, and then depending on how much time we want to spend on a live to do a set, or just maybe let you guys watch us create like the first 5 in the set, and then like the last 5, and then that way you can see like the beginning and the end process. that way we're not doing like a multiple lives, and because it's probably going to take us a while to create a whole set of runes at least, so we'll figure out how that's going to play out. But we look forward to seeing you on the 11th, and then after the 11th, Melissa and I will just plan when we're gonna do the creation live, and we'll have to look at our calendars and set that up, because as you all know, I'm a busy dude, and Melissa's a busy lady, and we
coordinating our schedules is funny.
It is funny. But for now, we're gonna go, and we'll see you all later. Peace out.